we're going to take a look at some FUD relating to a new protocol development on top of Lightning's LND implementation called Taro. Some Bitcoiners seem to think that it's a state-sponsored attack. Others think that this is a way for regulators to quote unquote capture Bitcoin. I think it's a bunch of FUD. It's a bunch of nonsense. The only thing that's going to happen is that people that choose to mess with shitcoins, regardless of what they're on, are going to get wrecked. The only difference is that with Bitcoin, the base layer is secure. That's the only difference. But make no mistake, a shitcoin is a shitcoin wherever you build it. All right, fellow Bitcoiner, Hodl Magoo put out this tweet. So, at Lightning Labs is a state-sponsored attack on Bitcoin. Where does that come from? We're going to go back in time and show you guys some stuff from earlier in 2022, like February, but the information is actually a lot older. So what is he talking about? Centrally issued and redeemed USD stablecoins on Lightning brings massive regulatory capture risk to Lightning. And he is talking about Taro. We're not going to dive into a very extensive overview of what Taro is. I'm going to try to get somebody way smarter and way more capable than me to explain it, but I'm going to give the 10,000 foot view. Okay, so here we go. Taro is a new Taproot powered protocol for issuing assets on the Bitcoin blockchain that can be transferred over the Lightning Network for instant, high volume, low fee transactions. At its core, Taro taps into the security and stability of the Bitcoin network and the speed, scalability, and low fees of Lightning. So essentially, to make it simple for all of us, it's essentially shitcoins on the Lightning network. Okay. Let's go take a look over here. This is the, again, high-level summary. Here we go. Number one, what is Taro going to enable? Allows assets to be issued on the Bitcoin blockchain. Leverages Taproot for privacy and scalability. Assets can be deposited into Lightning channels. Assets can be transferred over the existing Lightning network. Okay, so we have an idea of what Taro can do. But keep in mind, right? Let's think about fiat for a second, right? Let's go back to 1971. How was the government able to create money out of thin air with essentially without having to deal with the repercussions of a base layer that has to be accounted for, right? They removed gold. They removed the peg. Okay, that's what they did. Now, when you have assets on Lightning, okay, this is something that people don't understand. Okay, so let's say you're going to install a Bitcoin and Lightning node. So for the sake of this conversation, we're going to take a look at a product like MyNode or the Umbrel that is very familiar with a lot of noobs. Okay, so on the Umbrel you have a Bitcoin Core wallet, and you also have a Lightning. You also have a Lightning wallet. Okay, now you go and you transfer your Bitcoin to this node. It goes to the Bitcoin Core wallet. Now, you decide that you would like to have payment channels on Lightning, or you decide that you want to make payments with Lightning. So what you have to do, okay, that money, okay, that Bitcoin that you have that's in the base layer, okay, you now have to then put it into a channel, okay, or you have to open a connection to a peer for a fee. Okay, and you can choose the size of that channel, and the size of that channel will dictate how much value you can transfer back and forth. So let's say I decide to open a channel for 1 million Satoshis. Okay, that means that I can transfer, okay, from my end, that means that I can move 1 million Satoshis from my side of the channel to the other side of the channel. Okay. Now, not to go too far into the weeds. So as we understand it right now, the Bitcoin that we are using on Lightning, okay, has to be locked. Okay. That's what's happening. It is being locked into Lightning and cannot be used on the base layer. Okay. Until that channel is closed. So they can issue all the assets that they want. These are all going to be like paper trades. But at the end of the day, if there isn't enough Bitcoin to redeem this, it doesn't matter. It's just the people who bought these useless assets that are freaking wrecked. Anyways, all right. I'm going to continue on because I do think that this is FUD. I mean, obviously, Magoo's a great Bitcoiner, and I appreciate his takes and everything like that. But at the same time, I also know we're in a bear market, and it's like, everything seems like the sky is falling right now. So I just want to provide some counter narrative to the sky is falling. Anyways, okay, let's go get some comments from some other Bitcoiners who also who work with Lightning. So we're going to take a look at a comment here from Jestifer. And for the people who don't know who Jestifer is, definitely check him out. Okay, he's the co-founder of @amboss.space. That's right. If you want to figure out possibly if you are in the market of setting up a business where you would like to provide liquidity, maybe you just want to do it personally and provide liquidity and attempt to earn a small return on providing liquidity. Well, amboss.space is a great place to start. Anyways, so here we go. Jestifer, what did he say? How are people still fudding Lightning? It's a side ledger between two parties with digital signatures and time locks. What's the attack vector? What doesn't scale? See, exactly. So for the people who don't really understand Lightning, they're going to go and they're going to mix together this Taro protocol with whatever Lightning actually is. Okay. And they're going to think, oh my gosh, Lightning is insecure because it goes into issues shitcoins. This is a whole other piece. This is a whole other piece. Anyways, let's continue on here. We're gonna have to go back in time. Okay, we're gonna have to go back in time because remember, what did Magoo say over here? He goes, Lightning Labs, a state-sponsored attack on Bitcoin. So where does this come from? Right? We just talked about Taro, the possible shitcoining, and keep in mind, Taro would only work on the LND implementation. Okay, because they are the only ones, Lightning Labs are the ones that are developing it, and they are developing on LND. So as of right now, Eclair and C Lightning, there's no plans to build, any of this shitcoining on it. So anyways, okay. Magoo said Lightning Labs is a state-sponsored attack on Bitcoin. All right, so let's go back over here. Here is a tweet from Crypto Graffiti going back to February 19th, 2022. Here we go. What's going on here? And he is retweeting Lowell Eats, fellow Bitcoiner. Hate to say it, but I told you so. And here we go. We've got the screenshot of the World Economic webpage showing Lightning Labs as a builder and a collaborator. Obviously very concerning. Okay. And this is from February 2022. So February of this year. So we got a response from Elizabeth Stark, who is the CEO of Lightning Labs, and she said, all look into being removed. People love to make lists. And I mean, look, to a certain extent, I can see where she's claiming ignorance on it, and that's, that is perfectly fine. I mean, to a certain extent, sure, somebody could give you an award for something that you did without you even really knowing about it. So, okay. All right. Well, we'll take that with a grain of salt. We've got another take. And this comes from Brian Trolls or Shinobi, how most people know him. And here we go. Getting really hard to not think management is intentionally pushing in moronic and wildly oversold directions. Okay, so look. Okay, so there's two pieces to this. There is Lightning Labs being cited as an award winner for the World Economic Forum. Elizabeth Stark claims that she had no knowledge that they were on the list, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, look, I don't really care at the end of the day. The other piece to this is that the Taro protocol is going to somehow introduce some type of regulatory capture on Bitcoin. Now, look, obviously, I'm not an economist. Okay, I'm not an economist. I don't really know that much in depth about all those pieces, but the one thing that I have learned a lot about is Bitcoin. And even though this may be a horrendous idea to do on top of Bitcoin in Lightning, I don't think it actually affects Bitcoin. I think it's a total nothing burger. I think it's complete bullshit. Look, let's take a look at what's happened recently with FTX. Okay, let's take a look at what's happened recently with these shitcoins, right? They essentially are doing exactly what it is that we're worried about here. But the difference is that they have no base layer. Everything is vaporware down to the base. So what happened? What happened in these cases? Everything FTX got wrecked. Everything Celsius got wrecked. So what do you think's going to happen when they build Taro on top of Lightning? And it's a piece of shit. If it's a piece of shit. All that's going to happen is Taro's going to be wrecked. That's it. It's going to be a wrecked piece of shit on top of Bitcoin in Lightning. And everyone's going to sit there. They're going to point at it and go, see that? That was the piece of shit that broke. Look, the other piece to this is human incentives, okay? A lot of people, for whatever reason, they feel the pressure, okay? They look at the shitcoiners and they say, hey, look at all the cool things the shitcoiners are doing. Look, they've got all these assets. They've got all this money coming in and all this stuff. You know, as Bitcoiners, you know, we want this too because we've got the real asset. We have the actual real thing. Look, you know, make no mistake, just because they're doing it, it doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. It really doesn't. And the other piece to it is this. Everything they have built has been complete frickin' vaporware that has rug pulled hundreds of thousands of people. So to create this psychotic false notion that somehow this technology that's being built in shitcoins matters and is somehow helping anyone, it's not. It's enriching very few people that figured out how to fleece a much larger ignorant group of people. That literally is all it is. None of that technology needs to be a token, okay? And to be honest, any of the shitcoins that they're going to make on Lightning are going to be the same fucking thing, okay? It doesn't make a difference where you put the shitcoin. I think the only way that you can try to rationalize this for yourself so that you don't feel as terrible is that Bitcoin's base layer is actually secure, okay? As opposed to Ethereum being a giant shit show and Polygon and Avalanche and all this crap, okay? All these phony base layers that are all centrally controlled. So look, guys, summary, I honestly think this concern is just a giant nothing burger. But look, time will tell. I can be wrong. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert, okay? But don't just, you know, just because an account is big, just because they've been right about things in the past, it doesn't mean they're going to be right about everything going forward. And it's the same thing with me. Like, I've been wrong plenty of times in the past. I'm going to be wrong again in the future. And guess what? I may also be right sometimes. It's not about me being right or wrong. It's about us understanding what is real and what is not.